I'll kind of go like quickly through the very basic stuff and go into what was asked for in the questions. One of the basic things, I guess, is just getting the extension. And there were actually quite a few people who said they didn't know how to get the extension. So the document that I've shared with you, which I will screen share here in a moment. Uh-oh, can you make me host again, Kelly?
Yes, maybe.
Swap back and forth, back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
Now let me start this Zoom with saying, if I get kicked out, I'll be right back.
Right.
And don't freak out if it assigns you as the host.
Okay. So right now you have the ability to share, and I'm going to go and do the host real quick.
Let me make sure I have the right thing open before I
make host. All right, you're good.
Okay. All right, so you should be seeing my screen. Okay, so this is the document that I've shared. It looks like there's quite a few of you up here. And if you don't have the Screencastify extension, that's the very first link here, which would take you to Chrome Web Store. If you do not have the extension right here, it would say add it instead of remove from Chrome. But since I already have it, it says that. And it's just, you know, a process of allowing it permissions, and then it'll load onto your screen. And I will show you where that loads here in a moment. The other link that I have here might be a resource for you if you need to go back through some of the things that I'm going over today, or you feel like I've gone too fast. It's a YouTube channel that Screencastify has created with some really short and simple explanations on how to do several things. So Screencastify is actually pretty simple. We are going to start here with looking at, once you have it downloaded, you should see an extension button here. If it's not showing up in yours like mine are, this little puzzle piece right here in the top right of your Chrome will drop down all of the extensions that you have loaded onto your Chrome. And I have quite a few, but if you don't see it and you want it to be stuck up here so you always have it, you find it in your menu of extensions and you click the little pin there and it'll pin it up here. Okay. I like to have it always there because I've been using it quite a bit. So once you have this loaded, it will, the first time you click the extension, it will ask for some more permissions from you. It will ask you to allow it to use your camera, and it'll ask you to allow it to use your microphone, and you need to say yes or it won't go forward from there. Sometimes those permissions pop up over on the left top side of your screen, so you might want to make sure that you're paying attention to where those permissions are popping up. But once these things are allowed, you'll begin to be able to go through your options here. So the first thing that you probably would like to know is when you're recording with Screencastify, you have the options of you're only recording your browser tab. So let's say I only wanted to record this screen. I'm not planning on moving between any of the other tabs on my computer during the presentation. I only want to record this screen. That's when I would choose the browser tab. Okay. If I want a desktop, I would choose that if I want to be able to move between different tabs or maybe even to move between different programs while I'm recording. And if you just want to record using your camera only, and this would maybe an option if you just want to record, if you have your document camera set up and you just want to record your camera, or you just want to do a video of you, you could use your webcam only. Next here is, there are more options that aren't shown here. So make sure you click on those more options. When you do click record, finally, we'll go through these two things here in a moment. But when you click record, it'll give you a countdown, and you have the option of changing that countdown. I believe it's automatically set at 3 seconds. I like to change it to 5 because usually I'll hit record and then pause right away to get everything all set up how I want it, and I need longer than 3 seconds to do that. So you can change that countdown. Another thing to note is you can change the microphone you're using. So I have these Bluetooth headphones in right now. For some reason, my microphone's not working. But I have several different microphones hooked up to my computer. You may only see one option when you drop down that menu. Oops, sorry about that. When you drop down this menu, you may only see one microphone here. But if you choose the default one, it's most likely going to be your computer. Since I am using my default microphone on this Zoom meeting today, it will not let me use my microphone to record with Screencastify. So that's why I'm changing it to my headset microphone to be using with that. And then if we are going to be using our camera, so when I show you an example here, I'm going to show you an example by recording my desktop. So when you choose your camera, if you want to record using your document camera, that's the menu you would go to, and your document camera will show up here if you have it hooked up to your computer. So I also have two cameras hooked up to my computer right now. The integrated is the one that comes with my computer, and then I have that little camera that I have hooked up to it, just because we're on a Zoom meeting and it won't let me use both cameras at once. So when I show you in a moment what it looks like to have that video embedded in it, you're going to be seeing the video from the other camera. And any questions yet? I haven't been watching the chat.
Yeah, so just there's been a discussion about the paid version versus the free version. There's a lot of concern about the idea that the free version only has a 5-minute time limit on it, which is true. And I just told everybody the district is considering the paid version. If they do and you've already paid for it, you'll get it reimbursed. But if you don't, then you'll have the option if and when they purchase it. But I can't make a guarantee that they would choose to do it. I'll tell you, it's less than $30. I think it was $19 when I purchased it. Yeah, it was fairly inexpensive, but that's completely up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will show you at the end, besides the 5-minute limit, the paid version also has a slightly better editor. And I'll show you that at the end here. So I do have the paid for version. Everything that I'm showing you so far, though, it's also on the free version. So there's nothing different yet. I'll point out when there is something different. Anything else? All right. So those are the options that you would use in this little menu. There's also the hamburger menu right here, the 3 lines called the hamburger menu. And under that, there is an options button. And I suggest that you just look at this to make sure that when you first set it up, it asks you to connect it to your Google account. And if you say yes, then this is probably already selected. But this is where you will tell it when you're done recording where you want it to save. And I'll talk to you after showing you how it's saved, talk to you about how to organize, because it doesn't do the best job of organizing it for you. You can have to do that yourself. And then there are some other options here. If you want some alerts, like if you're recording a tab and you go to a different tab, it'll give you some notifications for that. The only other thing that I really changed is having the autoplay on. After you record a video, it automatically takes you to a screen and starts playing it, and I hate hearing my voice back out myself, so I turn that off so that I can mute it before I start watching it. So there are some advanced things that you can look at here, but I haven't messed And I don't suggest changing any of the quality things or anything like that. So that was, again, if you are in this, having clicked on the extension icon, if you go to the hamburger menu, that's where that came from. So we're going to start recording. Once you are recording, you hit the record button. I have options here. If I want it to show my entire screen, that's going to show, you know, even your Windows, if you're on a PC, your Windows menu at the bottom, it's going to show everything on your screen. If you just choose the application window, it's only going to show you whatever application you're on. So if you're on Chrome, it's going to show you the whole thing with the tabs at the top and all of that. But it's not going to show all the other stuff, like the desktop of your computer in the background and those things. So that is because I have chosen that we were showing the desktop. Now, if we had chosen just browser tab and we're going to record browser tab, that option wouldn't pop up. Okay, so it's only going to, if you choose browser tab, it's only going to be recording the browser tab that you're on. If you see the little video here in the bottom right, that's because I have embedded that camera and then I have set up over here. Video out my window. I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna go back.
Amy, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, Deb.
Okay, so the browser tab versus the, so for us, or for me, when I was making little math videos, I would use our Connect Ed, the online version to teach the lesson. Do I have to have it in the browser tab to be able to make the video, or could I have it in desktop?
You could have it in either one. Now, if you want to be able to change, if you want to do the connected and then you want to go to slides or something, you need to make sure you choose desktop. All right, so some of the recording tools that we have. Hold on, let me move my little menu so it's not going to be in the way. Okay. So you see it starts to count down here as soon as I hit the record button. And this little menu pops up in the bottom left. What I do, and you might like to set it to the 10-second mode, but what I like to do is to pause it, like hit start, hit record, and then pause it. So this button, that's a play button right here. It was a pause button, so if I hit it again, okay, the pause button. And that gives me time to get everything set up how I want before I begin to record. And when I mean everything, I mean things like what my mouse looks like. So this menu here, the arrow button, gives you 3 different mouse settings. The first, I'm going to turn them all off to start with. So the first one is called Focus Mouse. So if you're maybe showing a tutorial of how to do something, and you want a spotlight on where your mouse is, that's what that button does. So it turns my mouse into a spotlight. And you can turn this on and off while you're recording also. So if you turn it on before recording, that doesn't mean you can't turn it off later. So one more time at the bottom, this menu, this one pointer mouse, the very first one called Focus Mouse, and that's where that spotlight is from. Another option, and you can have all of these chosen at the same time if you want. So I just am turning them off as I go. Another option is to hide your cursor when it's not moving. So I'm moving my cursor around right here and I stop and my cursor disappears. You can't see my cursor anymore. Usually, you know, the little arrow would stay there. It's kind of distracting sometimes when you're watching videos that people have made and that little arrow just staying there the whole time. So you may want to hide your cursor when it's not being moved to avoid that. And then the third option here is to highlight clicks. So that means, again, it's really useful if you're doing a tutorial explaining to them how to use something online. That will make it so that whenever you click your mouse, a red circle appears around it, or pink maybe. So you see when I click things, it's a pretty fast circle, but it kind of highlights that you've clicked. So those are your three options for your mouse. And again, you can have two of them on at the same time if you want, all three of them. Got the spotlight and the click.
Could you go back really quick with your document camera? One of the questions in the chat box was about using how to toggle between your webcam and your document camera, or how to use them simultaneously. Could you just demonstrate that really quick?
I don't think you can in the same video.
You can't toggle?
Ah,
good to know. I'm lying to you guys then.
not on Screencastify.
Okay. But you can use
I'm
them.
not 100% sure about that, though.
Right?
Yeah.
You can do it on Loom.
What's that?
Loom? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about Loom.
Yeah, I asked Peter a question about that. So you can do it on Loom.
Got it.
That was one of my questions, if we could do that on here.
Do you mean going back and forth between your computer screen and a camera, or two different cameras?
Between your computer screen and your camera.
Oh, yes, you can do that. Sorry, I thought you were asking about between your two different cameras, having my two cameras. My suggestion for that is, so you embed your camera, as you can see right here, and then you can make that as big as you want to. So if you zoom in like this on your document, you're using your document camera. I've ordered myself a little like movable, what do you call that thing? A tripod. So I'm going to use this as a document camera. So you can toggle between your screen just by changing the size of this as you're recording. And then you can also, as you're recording, you can always remove this. If you're done with it, you just click the X and it goes away. Wow. So that would mean that you have chosen, when you're recording, that you've chosen to embed the web camera. Okay? You have to have either the browser tab and the desktop, but you also have to have embedded the web camera as well. Okay, in addition to the mouse, when you're recording, you also have some annotation options. They're pretty limited. So the center button here, this pen, will allow you to change the color of what you're going to annotate. And you can make the size of the pen larger and smaller. What you need to do is you need to use on your keyboard, up arrow will make it larger and down arrow makes it smaller. That's the only way that they have to do this. They don't have a button on here for doing that. So that means when you're recording, you can be drawing on things as well. To erase, there's a little eraser next to the pen down here. It automatically sets it to like an eraser where you can erase little things. But if you see this box in the top left here, when you're hovering over the eraser, that's to clear the entire screen at the same time. Okay. And then I've removed my web camera, so if I wanted, I could put that back up there. So I'm going to just record for a few seconds here, and then we can look at what happens after you're done with the recording. So it counts down, and it's now recording. So you know it's recording because the little icon up here now has a red circle, and that means recording. During your recording, you can always go back down here and pause. And it's not recording at the moment. You see the pause button up here. And you can, go get whatever you need to do the next part of your lesson. and then come back and hit the resume button, and it's recording again. Okay. So when you're done, you do hit the pause button to say that you're done, and instead of hitting resume, you hit the end recording, which pops up right here, which I think is a silly way of doing that, but I think Ashley does too. So as soon as you're done recording, the video will automatically start loading to your Google Drive. So it was a really short video I made. I don't know if you saw for a few seconds there that there was a bar that was showing it downloading. It's already downloaded into my Google Drive. And when it downloads, it gives it an unnamed, an untitled. You can just click right up here and change it. Okay. And if you have, let me make sure I'm going in the same order here. Okay. So if you have the free version, you don't have the option of opening or going to the editor. Okay. Any editing you can do has to happen from this menu. So your editing options are pretty limited. What you can do is you can cut the beginning. So if you can play it back here, and you have to pause before you do any changing. But if I decided, oh, I want to cut the first 2 seconds off, I take the scissors and I've clicked the scissors and I'm dragging them. Okay, and that will, now when I choose to save my trim, it will cut off the beginning. With this free version, you can only cut the beginning and the end. You can't cut anything in the middle. That's a limitation with the free version. So I guess during the recording, using that pause button when you need to pause might be helpful if you don't plan on purchasing it. Not having the paid for version meant that I had to re-record a bunch of videos, because when I mess up in the middle, I just can't leave it like that. I had to just re-record it. So if you save your trim, then now it is the trimmed version. That's really all you can do with the free editing. And I see a bunch of chats in there. What do I need to know?
A lot of talking about, you know, where the recording's going to, is this being recorded? Yes,
Yep.
it's in knowledge base. And should the district purchase a professional version of this? So.
Yes. If this is the one that they're going to ask us to be using, I would recommend purchasing it, because if you go to Screencastify's site and you look at how much it costs to get a license for an entire district, on the site it says if the district decides to purchase it, that they reimburse all their teachers. So if you do purchase it and the district goes for buying it, you could get reimbursed. But I will show you the things that you can do in the editor, why I would suggest.
Amy's Peter's question is, can you undo a trim? Let's say you trim it and you say, no, I didn't want to do that.
I don't know. I'm gonna look to see if I can go to see if it has.
You do Control-C. Will that do it?
It just put my title back.
Okay, never mind. We'll figure it out later.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Once you have your video, so what I just clicked on right here, I need to slow down. Under Google Drive, it will automatically make a shareable link for you, but you also have other options. So if you click on the other options, you can change the Google Drive privacy settings for this video right here. So you're not allowing anyone only at White Salmon school accounts to see it or making it public. You can change that right from here. It doesn't, so what Screencastify does is it makes one folder in your Google Drive called Screencastify. and anything that you make, that's where it dumps it. Okay. So my suggestion for organizing that is to click on the button there that says View on Drive, and it will show you your video. And up here, the 3 dots, snowman, you can organize it from here. So then you can move this item. You're actually in your Google Drive at this point, but if you have a specific folder that you know you want to put it in, this would be the place where I would do this. So I'll show you that one more time. When you're on the top here, Google Drive, you have to click More Options and View on Drive. Then that takes you here where you can organize where it's at. Other options here for sharing. When you first open this, you won't see all of these options. I had to click on More Options, and then I had this plus button right here that says Add More Share Options. That's where I was taken to this menu where I slid over Edpuzzle and I slid over Remind. It doesn't currently have Seesaw on here. So I actually, you have a suggestion, you can click here. It takes you to a form and Seesaw's on their form. So every time I go on there, I just do that. So they keep getting a bunch of Seesaw requests from me. So again, that's under the share, your more options, and then if you add more share options. I think it automatically will have Google Classroom, YouTube, email, and the embed code on there and the QR code, but to add Edpuzzle and Remind, you do that here. And we can be doing a training later to explain how to use your videos in Edpuzzle and Classroom. But if you do click on it, for example, from Classroom, it will take you to a window that will say, do you want it to make an assignment or do you want it to be a question? You get to choose how it gets posted there. You have a question, Beth?
Just want to go back to that Seesaw. So you're saying we can save it, but it won't go onto Seesaw?
They don't have a button to automatically go there, but I can show you how to make it happen.
So we just would copy the link and post it in Seesaw then?
What I would suggest is you download it. So
okay.
I'm downloading, it's down here. Now I had my Seesaw open. Sorry, my tab went to sleep. Okay, I don't know Seesaw very well, but I'm going to say I want to add it to, I want to assign an activity. Then now that I've downloaded it, when I add multimedia, I have the option of uploading. So I upload it. You can also pull it right from your Google Drive, I guess. So I just think that might be a little faster than digging and finding it in my Google Drive. So there it is.
That's how I did it, Amy, when I did it.
Just Google Drive or downloading?
I actually did, I did both ways.
And which way did you find was faster for you?
I'm not sure I remember, honestly. But I feel like I remember having to change computers one time because one of my computers wouldn't do it. And I had to switch computers and the other one would, and I don't really know why.
Probably depends on how big the video is. I mean, this is a 13-second video, so it didn't take too long to download and then upload.
I think it did have to do with the length of the video.
So if it's on Google and it's a longer video, it may be better to do it that way. Your other download options, it automatically downloads it as a WebM file. If you need it to be an MP4, you can download it as an MP4 as well. You can also just download the audio only. And then you can also export it as an animated GIF.
Amy, can I add really quick about exporting as an MP4?
Yes.
If you end up having any students that are limited in their connectivity, that can be an option. If you can download it as an MP4 and put it on a flash drive,
Okay.
just that could be one reason you might want to do that.
So if you want to download it as a GIF, you can change the size of the GIF, and I'm just going to download it pretty small so it's fast and show you maybe why you want to use a GIF. A GIF can be, as soon as it's done, a GIF can be inserted into a document, embedded into a document, and videos can't, right? So if I wanted to show you if I wanted to add that here. Oops. Where's my GIF? Oh, I'm just going to add a different GIF because I can find it faster for you. You can actually add them to regular Google documents or slides, embed it right there, just short little tiny video clips. So that may be a reason for downloading GIF. Any other questions? Sharing to Seesaw, I kind of showed already.
The question was just about using Screencastify on like a Chromebook versus an iPhone. And for viewing purposes, both work fine. But for creation purposes, a kid can only use Screencastify. It's a Chrome extension, so they'd have to be using a Chrome browser. So if you were asking a kid to make a video and the kid had an iPhone, I would just suggest you have them record it, like just as a regular recording.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing that I can show you if you're interested is what the editor looks like if you pay for it. There are, actually I'm going to go to a little bit longer video that I've created. So if you want to see all of the videos that you've created, when you go to your Screencastify extension and you go to the hamburger, you can click on My Recordings, and it'll take you to all of the recordings that you have created on Screencastify. I'm just choosing one that's a little bit longer so that I can show you what happens when we go to the paid version of editing, how that's a little bit different. With the paid version, you have options of cutting in several places. So if I click on my video here at the bottom, you can see the bar. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a white bar here, which is showing where my cursor is. And then if I click on the scissors, it makes a cut there. So if I want to cut a piece right in the middle, I put my cursor there again, or in another spot, and I click the scissors again, and now I have a cut thing in the middle where I could delete that, I could throw that out. Or another tool that you have in the unlimited version is you can also crop. So maybe in the middle of my video, I wanted to zoom in on a certain part of it. We could do that as well. So then if you play through here, you should see the moment when I cropped it, and in the crop, I zoom in on it. Better than what I was thinking it was going to be. Here, it's about ready to move. So this is a zoomed in version that I have clicked on. Another thing that you can do with the paid version is you can add text. So if you want to add a title here, you can add that, and this can be changed to go for the entire length of the presentation or just for a short section, and you can move it to the time in the video that you want it to show up. When you're on the title, you can't move it on the screen. You can only choose if you want it to be at the top or the bottom or in the center. You can change the size of it. You can also highlight behind it and change the color of the text and the type of the text. So those are the extra options in the paid version. Being able to cut, being able to crop, and being able to add text. You can't change any of the sound or anything in Screencastify.
Amy, the question is, how time consuming is it to make and edit a video? Learn to do it, basically.
To learn how to do it,
I guess maybe
hours to get comfortable doing. So, okay, let's see. I'm going to make a video. I have a blank presentation right here, and I'm going to the page that I like for my pictures, free pictures, and I pick a picture, and I'm going to add it to my, actually I probably would have made it a background, but I'm going super fast right here. And then I'm going to add some word art that says flowers and insects. And I'm going, I mean, this is like really sloppy and yucky. That stand out. And then I'm going to add another one and another flowers. I mean, it doesn't take too long. Just one flower. I guess you have to have it planned out, right? What you want. And I want like these. I have another tool where it'll remove the background. These things that I am using, I've been using them for a while, so I'm pretty comfortable with it, I guess. So I can do it pretty fast, but I think if you, the more you play with it, the more comfortable you'll get, right? So I can.
And also the more you plan out ahead of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you write yourself out a little script, you know, or something like that, just plan out what you're going to say.
And you can type in your speaker notes right here. So then I'm going to record just my application window, and I'm going to record in presentation mode. I would have started from the beginning. I'm going to record. I'm going to talk about flowers and insects, and I've got my script created, and then I'm going to talk about bees and how they pollinate flowers, and just continue to create my slides from whatever I'm going to be teaching. It doesn't, I think it doesn't take too long. And if you already have, I'm recording this, double recording now. If you already have presentations that you've created and maybe you want to convert them to be more video friendly, I think that can happen fairly quickly. And I think one of the professional developments that we were talking about doing is some tips and tricks, like how to make presentations like this that would work well for video, and how to structure your videos, and how to choose the length of your videos, and the text that you include, those kinds of skills. But I guess that's a training for another time.
Can I make a suggestion to, I think it was Kevin's question about getting used to it and learning curve? Once you have the extension, you can start a video just by clicking on that button at the top. And I'd recommend that while you're getting ready for school to start and you're looking at stuff, or even if you're just browsing the web, turn on Screencastify and narrate what you're doing. Just say, I think I'm going to find out how much whatever costs today on Craigslist, and here's what I'm searching for. Oh, here's an interest. Just talk out loud while you're doing stuff on the computer, and then stop it and listen to it. And you'll get used to your own voice, and you'll get used to the tool. and the free version doesn't have a lot of editing to learn. I hope we get the paid one for everybody, but if you just get in the habit of trying these things, they come along pretty quickly. And just when you're already doing something, just record yourself and then throw them out, but listen to them first. I've been doing a lot of that, just sort of taking a slideshow that I use every year and going through it again and narrating what I would have said to my class, but doing it on a screencast.
Would you like to see a short sample of a video that has been made? Okay, I need to, my Zoom skills, I need to remember how to share my sound on Zoom. Kelly, help, oh, I found it.
I was just getting ready to say something.
Help!
That was my wait time.
I want an edited version. Okay, you're gonna see all my messy folders and all my weird stuff going on because I can't remember where I saved it otherwise, so bear with me. Nope. Oh, darn it. There it is. It's forces, not energies. And it should be here. All right, so this is a lesson that I have set up for them, but I created a video example. So I put a link in there to the video, and why is it doing that? Oh, no, the link's over here. Video tutorials over here. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this part. So when I made this video, I actually didn't have the microphone turned on. It's just me. I'm walking through for them how to take a slide and save it as a picture and then put it on a Padlet. So you can, I mean, the first videos that you make, maybe you don't want your voice in there. Maybe you just want it a walkthrough of showing them how to do something. Might be a good place to start. Just a couple of little instructional videos, how to do things like that. I could show my questionings one, but it's pretty long. I did make a lesson about questioning techniques. If you want to see it, you can send me a message or an email and I'll share it with you. But here's a sample. That's the end of that video. So are there any other questions? Or I was trying to read through the chat that I've been missing the whole time.
I think the only other question was just about whether Seesaw or Screencastify was easier, but I know we don't use Seesaw that much at that level, so that's kind of harder for us to answer. I will tell you that Trisha Eddy's going to do a presentation about Seesaw on Thursday. She might have more insight into that, right? Or some of the other elementary teachers might have more insight into that question.
Yeah, because I know you can just record directly right there in Seesaw, right? And I don't know about editing or anything in Seesaw, if it allows you to do that, or if it's just kind of more like a Flipgrid video.
Amy, you can record in Seesaw, but you can't do all the things that you can't like embed your camera and show like the little picture of yourself talking while everybody's seeing your screen or your desktop. It's not, Seesaw's more just simple, a straight video. And so Screencastify, I found worked I mean, sometimes all I need is just a video, and Seesaw works great for that. And Screencastify works great for that too, either way. But when you need to do something more complicated, Screencastify was better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're creating an actual lesson that students are following, you probably want to use Screencastify. My guess is that the Seesaw is similar to what you can do with Flipgrid, if you know Flipgrid. I don't know. Anything else that I can help with? I've recorded this session, so we'll be posting this on the website. When Peter sent you the email invitation for both of the trainings today, he also included links to that website again. Let us know. More is coming next week. We're working on planning for new trainings next week also. So there's a link on the website that asks for if you want specific things that you want to know about or suggestions of PD, fill that out, and then we'll know and we'll be able to cater to what you need. All right.
Beth, your question is about, you said there's no way to show yourself and your content simultaneously. When you say content, you mean your document camera? Is that what you mean by content?
No, like when I was using Loom last spring, there's like a little circular window, and it changes the size. You could be little or big, and it shows like what you're teaching in your math when you're doing your math videos with My Math, or you can write on that, and they can see you, and you can explain things or hold things up, and they can see you explain it and write on that. I was just wondering if that's a feature of this.
Amy?
So are you writing on your computer using like a stylus on your computer?
Right. I'm putting in the answers or drawings, for example, geometry. And so like when I was doing the three-dimensional shapes, I was holding up the three-dimensional shapes and showing them how to draw the three-dimensional shapes on their workbook page, but was in the ConnectEd app.
I think you should be able to. Let's see. I don't know I don't know a whole lot about the ConnectEd app, but I'm guessing it's kind of like a whiteboard. Is that you're describing you're writing in a whiteboard?
Yeah, it's when you go into your, it's hard to explain. Maybe I should just meet with you separately.
That's fine. We can problem solve. All right, Beth, if you want to stay, I'll see if I can figure it out. I think I know what you mean.
Great.
If you allow her to share her screen with you, Amy, she can probably pull up ConnectEd, and then you guys can troubleshoot with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you those.
Give me a second to find an example one really quick.
Okay.
Christine, I have access to ConnectEd too. If you'd like, I'm happy to walk you through that. It just, unfortunately, I have another meeting to get to, so it can't be today. But
And Amy, I don't have to do this right now if you want, if it's
No,
a better.
it's fine. No, it's fine.
Okay.
okay. Amy, I got to step off because I got to get to another meeting. But Christine, if you want to shoot me an email, we could set up a time.
If what they're doing, Kelly, doesn't answer my questions or give me enough guidance, then I will email you, okay?
Sounds good. If I don't hear from you, I won't be offended.
Okay, good.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, Kelly. Thank you.
So I I'm on a whiteboard right now. I don't know if it looks anything similar to what the ConnectEd one does, but I mean, I can draw on this like this. No, not similar. Okay.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I think what Beth is saying, Amy, is that she can actually pull up something from ConnectEd, not just a whiteboard, but maybe a document or a lesson or something.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, it says I cannot screen share while somebody else is sharing. Sorry.
Okay. Hold on, I'll stop.
I think
Sure.
Beth that you can. I think Beth that you can do it because those pages are the ebook. That's what you are talking about, and the ebook already has the tools for you to use, highlight or circle or do whatever you want.
Beth, do you have Screencastify extension, right?
No, I don't have it yet.
Can you add that really quick too? 'Cause
What's
I think
that?
Can you add it very quickly? Just go to Chrome Store and add it.
I could. I don't want to make people wait for me though. I would love to show you what I'm talking about with my video, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Ah, super frustrating.
It should be open for you to share.
It is. I'm just trying to figure out how it's okay. Let me try one more thing here.
I think we see your screen, Beth, or your desktop.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, hold on. Let me do.
Amy,
Can you guys see that?
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
How do you get that little bar when you start to record that you can pause it? It doesn't show up when I do it.
Can you guys see can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so here's an example.
I'm trying to figure that out, Ashley.
So here's an example of one I did that I'm talking about. Oh wait, can you hear it?
Yeah. Can't hear it very well. You just sound like.
Hold on.
Did you do that in Loom, Beth? How did you do that?
I did it in Loom. I was just, there we go.
That's what I was wondering.
That means is instead of just having a flat little shape block circle, we're going to work on things that actually have a shape, something you can hold. So I want to give you an example, and I want to also start by encouraging you to look back through these pages. I'm going to see if I can get back over. There we go. Oops, almost had it. See if I can get it. Oh, maybe I can move this circle out of the way. There we go. Okay, I want to go back a couple pages. So if you're on lesson 1, I want you to encourage you to go back to the beginning of this chapter and look at these vocabulary cards. So the first one says cone, and on the back side, so if you flip that over and if you cut these out, so you can flip it over and cut out each of those shapes, and on the back side it tells you the definition. So I'm going to go back over there and I'm just going to read and talk about those for a second. So this is called a cone, and a cone is a 3-dimensional shape that has a point at the end. And when I think about a cone, I think of an ice cream cone. That makes it easy. I have a couple of 3-dimensional shape cones for you to look at. So here's one that I have that's yellow. So just if you think about an ice cream cone, that's one way to remember it. Or you could have a cone that looks like this on the top side. So maybe like a little hat or like a party hat. You've probably worn a party hat, and that's a cone shape. Another one is this one right over here. This is called a cube. So I have an example.
Okay, so you don't have to watch that whole thing, but that's how I do it.
Yeah, you're just doing embed a cam. So
I don't know how to stop.
let me show you.
No, just enough to be dangerous.
So see any tab that so you're on your Screencastify. It may look different than this, but you can, ConnectEd, you're on your ConnectEd. You can still use it, but when you go to record, you would choose the button that you're embedding the webcam. When you embed your webcam, it will automatically pop up here. Now, it's not a round circle, but you can still make it larger if you want, and you can still move it around. But I think that's about the same thing, right?
Yes.
Very similar. So that is just making sure whichever type of recording, whether you're using the tab or the desktop, that you've chosen the option that says embed webcam.
Okay, so I have to have a webcam first. That's the one that's this one on my laptop.
Yeah, your computer. You don't have to have two cameras. The only reason I have to have two cameras is because I'm on Zoom right now. And so Zoom is using one of my cameras, and yeah, you don't have to have two cameras.
So you're saying I can do exactly the same thing on here if I just use the embedded webcam, which is what is being used right now to film me talking to you.
You just can't be on Zoom also. Two programs can't be using the same computer or same camera at the same time.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think I
like the circle though. I wish you could make it a circle.
So yeah, I was by the time I wanted to say to Kevin, you know what, just go on there. You just gotta who cares if you have gray hairs and you need to go get a dye job and a haircut? Who cares? You know, it's like I had a bad makeup job. I don't care. I'm like, they're first graders.
I'm done. I'm done wearing makeup myself.
I think the first videos I made, I probably deleted it 15 times, and then I just like, screw it, let's go.
So Amy, when you started, you had that little thing on the bottom left that you could pause it when it went
Down
3,
here.
2, 1, but I can't make it happen.
So you're not, I'm hitting record. You're not seeing this right here?
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. How do you see that?
Don't know what you did. Okay, let me see. You may have, so what I just did, I hit the little X and it went away down there. You may have done that and just removed it. I have too many tabs. I have to close some of these because they're driving me nuts. Okay. It might be in your settings. Can you try it again and make sure that you don't, so here's, I'm going to hit record. Oh, I never hit stop. Hold on. I'm going to have a whole bunch of like 15-second videos. Okay. Record.
I think I can't do it because I've already got, oh wait, maybe I just need to.
Now mine has gone away too. Ashley, what'd you do?
Ashley, do you have the free or the paid version?
Free.
Because I was going to say I didn't remember seeing it on the free version, and I think because Amy has the paid version, she has those options, but we don't.
No, it was there on the free version.
Okay, I was going to say that's kind of huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I didn't remember seeing those when I was doing it either.
Kevin and I have both tried to find it, and we can't. Which doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No, it's like
we can't figure it out.
Are you saying that you don't have the webcam on the free version?
No, the little menu went away. And then when I hit the X, it's gone away for me now too. And I can't get it back. It's starting to record, but it's not.
No, Beth, the webcam part is always really easy to find. It's more those little tools she was showing where you could highlight and do other things.
It's not even
There's a
counting
lot,
down.
Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm closing Chrome and opening Chrome back up and seeing if that fixes it. No, some setting just got changed somehow. It's not even counting down anymore.
Ours wouldn't let us, last year it wouldn't let me record when it was on the Google page. You had to have it on another page, another application.